Welcome to a first game on the Intergalactic Coliseum 6 for this weekend. For the 2v2 map, we are on Seraphim Glaciers. At the bottom of the map, we've got the BC clan, which is Cresdee, which is being accompanied by Joly. And at the top, we have AIX, which is Sheeo, and he's getting accompanied by Pocket Merlin. So on this map, it's one of the big ones. It's a 2020 map. As you can see, this map is originally for big, massive 2v2v2s or 4v4s. So this is going to be an interesting how each team go about being able to reclaim the small islands, as well as the big side ones on both bottom left and top right, as well as the air and, which probably most importantly would be the air superiority, as this is a big map. So air is very, very important in this game. As we can see though, we do have little bricks, which is brilliant for reclaim by all players and all team members in this game. As you can see, there's quite a lot, so that'll give them quite a nice eco boost for when they want to reclaim and give the biggest mass boost. As we have a look, so we've got two out. So let's have a look at the both islands. On the bottom left hand side, which you can see the mini map, we have one spawn point, which is 4 mexes, with 2 and 1 mex left over for both players. So that's going to be the biggest fighting points in this actual map. Would be whoever gets to both islands will be brilliant. So, and the other big ones, if it's a normal 4v4, this central island becomes pretty much a hellhole in Seraphim Glaciers. So it's going to be quite an interesting map. Obviously, at every start of every game, you've always got the big, long, slow build-up process before they even start doing anything. As we have a look at Sheeo, he's manually reclaiming with his engineers all over the island. So he's picking up all the mexes, and as you can clearly see, he's upgrading his first mex to T2, which is at 18% done, and he's already got the scouts out. So he wants to know exactly what's going on in the enemy base. Pocket Merlin is doing the exact same, but hasn't got the same expansion rate as his ally. But it's obviously going to be interesting. As we can see, those we just zoomed out, we've got 2 early scouts from Cresdee and Joly, so they know exactly what's happening. As you can see, though, we do have an engineer from Pocket Merlin heading to the side islands, the smaller version of the islands, which has 4 mass points. So that's 8 mass a second if they do capture it. And we can see Joly doing the exact same on the other side of the map. So obviously both teams, they are quite well. AIX is quite good at teams, and you've also got the BCs, which are, well, they're okay. I wouldn't say they're the best clan in the game, but they are very interesting. So as the game progresses, we'll be talking about what strategies each player are using. As you can clearly see, though, Cresdee is doing the exact same as the other 2 players, which I've just noticed that, which was a bit late of me. But we've got scouts, and we've obviously got Joly. Instead of Sheeo sending his engineer over the long period of sea, he's actually going for the quicker way of doing stuff, which is pretty much, I'm going to send my engineer over there, so you better like it. If you don't, tough, because he's going to go on a big, massive flying mission. So as we have a look there, obviously Cresdee's doing the exact same. So Cresdee is actually making the first move, the same with his ally Joly, but we do have a change of direction by Pocket Merlin. Instead of Pocket Merlin going for the middle, he's actually decided I'm sending my engineers to go to the side. So this is going to be quite interesting. We've also got Joly, Sheeo. His move is predefined as movement, but obviously we've got Cresdee is waiting in line. If he did see that transport, which he has definitely seen it, so that he's obviously got his scout looking for the transport, and there you go, he's seen it, and his interceptors are being attacking the transport. So the transport is on emergency drop procedures and has actually dropped 4 engineers and 2 are heavily damaged. If you have a look though, Cresdee has actually managed to drop all 5 of his engineers on the left island and is going straight for an aggressive T1 land factory. Cresdee is going to follow up, killing the transport with a T1 bomber. So he wants to make sure that they are completely out of it at the moment. So we have a look though, we do have a successful drop by Pocket Merlin as well. So he's obviously gone for a radar, mass extractor, and he's gone for the land factory. As we have a look on the bottom of that particular island, Joly, however, is going for a massive attack force with 3 land factories. He already has 2 flares out, so that'll be changing quite quickly, and he is getting a radar, so he wants to know exactly what's going on there. Obviously, Pocket Merlin tried to reclaim the flares, but isn't doing a very good job of it, and is still attempting to try and do it, but obviously Joly well aware of that situation and handled superbly well. We do have another drop by Joly in the middle, so this is good. So this is literally going to be at the moment looks like a BC walkover, because they both have they've both got the both islands, and they've also got the central reservation, which I'll now call it, in Seraphim Glaciers. Even though Pocket Merlin does have an engineer coming in, 1 engineer versus 6. You just don't have a chance. You do the math on that one as well. But pretty much this is going to be a one-sided game looking at it so far. We do have an Aeon T2 air factory going online soon. Joly, by Sheeo. Obviously he's building quite a lot of power generators, and he seems to be writing his own name, so that's quite interesting development as well. We've also got T2 Air Factory going online by Pocket Merlin. So both are playing a passive attack at this current moment in time, I'd say. We do have Cresdee also dropping in the middle, so he's reinforcing that middle, so that's brilliant by both of them players. So if you have a look in Joly's main base, he's still spamming T1 land, bombers and transports, and he's also got engineers building. So obviously he's going to think of doing another engineer drop. As we have a look at Cresdee, he's assisting his mass extractors. He is assisting his second mass extractor at T2, but he does have 3 air factories and 1 land factory. So obviously, as I said, air is really, really important in this game, and it probably is going to make the difference between who wins this game. As we can see though, Sheeo is actually got his 4th T2 mass extractor online. There we go, just finished there. As we look at Pocket Merlin's base, yep, he's all T2, but he's using his engineers are on the outside. Going to be start T2ing, upgrading them in heavy assist mode. Pocket Merlin is using a T2 engineer to build a T2 power generator, so obviously he's really yep, he's power stalling. He's actually eco stalling big style by building that power generator. But as you can see on the right hand side, we have a successful land drop by Joly with 5 flares. So they're just going to stay there. They're keeping that very, very busy until Joly can get a transport over there and assist it with engineers on just completely take over that island. As we can see though, lovely flares just scrolling around, not being able to be attacked by T1 bombers. Well, he can be attacked by T1 bombers, but it won't do much difference because they're spread out quite a lot. We've got Cresdee bringing even more reinforcements over to the bottom left island. We've got Joly just reclaiming everything on his. We've got T1 bombers coming into Pocket Merlin's base, but he's now started T2 air, and Sheeo has just got his online. He's now doing T2 power generators, so obviously Joly's eco is brilliant. Not much in it. Let's have a look at Pocket Merlin. Since he's got the T2 power generator online, he has got it perfect. As we can see though, we've got the air distraction by Joly for his bombers just to come in. Let's have a look Let's have a look where they go and hit to damage. No, they haven't dropped, have they? Nope, no successful drops on any of them bombers, so they got intercepted before anything could really happen. So Joly won't be too naive after that. As we can see though, if we have a look at Cresdee's build order, he is in plus 31 mass, so he's got too much mass for him to handle really. So this is going to be quite interesting. Is he upgrading? Yeah, he's only got one factory to T2 and he isn't starting the others yet. He has the mass, but he doesn't have the power to be able to support it. However, Joly is now upgrading his primary air factory to T2, and it's going T2. Elsewhere, let's have a look in the middle. What's going on in the middle? Nothing's going on in the middle. So pretty much it's even Stevens now. The advantage at this current moment in time is in Cresdee and Joly's favour by got about double the mass income of the enemy. So they're just going to be sit and they're going to be very, very nice in mass. As we can see though, Joly has got one more, that's his last mass extractor to be upgraded, and obviously he's now started building storage around it. Joly has successfully finally captured his middle smallish left base, but Joly is really on a hunt for that top island, and here we go. We've got another engineer from Pocket Merlin coming in. However, Joly is going to be start microing this T1 flare. Once he sees this mass extractor going up, he will turn around and start shooting the engineer. As you can see though, that bomber is on the hunt for that lab. So this is starting to be an interesting game now. Obviously, Joly is going for more power generators, and he is actually going mass naval expansion as well. Obviously, he's getting frigates out, which the enemy team hasn't actually started yet. So it looks like the enemy team, which is the AIX, is just primarily going for air. Who can get the best air out by the looks of it? So it's just going to be looking like an air game by the AIX, but however, BC are looking to make it even more of a pain by bringing the naval expansion of the Seraphim army to its primal days. And obviously Joly is now actually building T2 interceptors as well. So see, Cresdee isn't actually doing anything with his T2 air factory at this current moment in time, and most of his air factories as well. Let's have a look. Let's see what the reason why. No, at the moment he's on plus 33 mass a second, and he's got a crap load of power income. If we have a look at Joly, Joly's maxing out his eco quite well. That'll be going to building destroyers, yep, in the Seraphim army, and for his naval expansion. If we have a look at Pocket Merlin, he has got quite a bit of mass in tow. It looks like he doesn't have RAS, but he is just reclaiming his power generators. He is actually going for a naval defensive unit called the T2 artillery, and it is extremely handy in this scenario and case, because if you actually defend it very well, you will have that doing quite well. Obviously, he's even got T2 gunships up, and that's because Joly's got engineers right outside of his base. Typical Joly. As we can see though, yep, Joly's got the same T2 artillery, surrounded by power generators. So if you have a look at the overall map control, it's pretty much against AIX at the current moment in time. We are 13 minutes in the game as well. We do have Cresdee, which looks to be heavy assisting his naval factory, so he wants to get that online as quickly as possible. But he isn't actually using much of his air factories at this current moment in time. He's actually just not doing much. However, we do have an attack, well, a scouting party out by Pocket Merlin, which will be intercepted by Joly's excellent T2 Interceptor's army. So obviously Pocket Merlin's like, I want to know what you're doing, so I'm just going to come and have a look. As we can see, Joly is actually becoming a mixed naval race at the current moment in time by doing Aeon as well, which he's using to get out the Aeon factory. If we have a look at Joly, he is going T3 on his ACU. We do have a massive air influx here. Yep, there we go. Pocket Merlin and just Pocket Merlin. Is his ally? No, I don't think his ally. Yep, Sheeo is actually coming in there to assist with this. If we have a look there, Pocket Merlin is decide to U-turn his T2 bombers. He's looking for the ACUs, and there we go. Land ground attacks. Yep. And that was a failed ground attack there by Pocket Merlin. Could have done more damage elsewhere, but he's got to try and get them T2 bombers. No, not powerful enough, the T2 bombers of the Seraphim, to do that kind of damage. However, we do have T2 land out by Joly, which will be coming and spamming from the right hand side of the base. Yep, there we go. T2 land factory HQ. And there we go, T2 artillery trying to shoot at the mobile shields of Pocket Merlin, but Pocket Merlin has changed strategy and is building quite a little array of TPs, which in other words are torpedo bombers, which would hit Cresdee's ACU and knock it firmly out of the water. But as you can clearly see, Joly isn't happy with having T2 bombers attack his destroyers. So instead of him submerging his destroyer, he's actually just telling his interceptors to go kill this T2 bomber. And there you go, that's the last of the T2 bombers out of there. So air superiority at this current moment in time is firmly within BC's game. And as we can see though, Cresdee there just slowly hitting away at the mass of Sheeo. So obviously that's going to be a big dent. That's -8 in Sheeo's favour, and he is +14 as you can see though, but he can see the big massive air advancement of Joly. So Pocket Merlin is in real trouble, and he is actually telling his torpedo bombers to hightail the shit out of there. So that's going to be quite interesting because there's nothing either one can do about this. Sheeo does have quite a bit of an air army, but not enough to, well, do what it needs to be done. So he is actually still spamming cruisers and destroyers, long range evil little bastards, Seraphim destroyers, and the Seraphim cruisers, even worse. As we can see though, T1 frigate of Pocket Merlin is in high retreat. This is because there we go, the shield's in place now, so them frigates are really in trouble now because there's just that shield there. And obviously there we go, Joly's T2 destroyer is actually right next door to them T1 frigates, so this is pretty much a good game at this current moment in time. Pocket Merlin doesn't have anything to combat this type of supremacy, but Sheeo does have the interceptor advantage at this current moment in time, because he does have three T2 air factories. Obviously, one of them is going to be a HQ. But Joly's just staying there saying, I'm here. There's nothing much you can do about it. If you want to come, I'll take your air out. And obviously there we go. We've got T2 flak coming up by Sheeo, because he's well aware of the impending danger that is being placed on him by that big massive army that Joly has right outside of Pocket Merlin's base. And as you can see though, that's well, one of the fails of this game. The Blazers are trying to shoot over a hill, and it doesn't work because they're on the lower ground. So this is gonna be quite interesting. But now we've got the epicness of the cruisers. As we can see though, you can see torpedo bombers of Pocket Merlin come down there. I don't think he's realised, but as Joly realised what could be happening, let's have a look. No, Joly hasn't realised. Yeah, that's interesting. I am not trying to cheat, just to clarify that little area of significance. As we can see though, Joly's interceptors are quite spread out, and Sheeo are picking them off quite well. As we have a look though, we do have the Pocket Merlin torpedo bombers very, very close. The Cresdee's base. Let's see, does Cresdee have a radar up anywhere that I can click off? He doesn't have one in his main base, looking at this. Well, let's do this way. Turn on radar. There we go. That's the radar coverage that... There we go. See?
Commander under attack.
Cresdee does not have any radar coverage to protect his ACU from this big assault by Pocket Merlin. This might actually do it. Cresdee doesn't have any. Yeah, Cresdee does have some, but he's protected by Sheeo. This could be a... No, only a handful drop there, but that's enough to take Cresdee out of this game. Cresdee is gone. So the impending BC wave has just hit a big startle. That brilliant snipe by Pocket Merlin on Cresdee has actually put a big dent in BC's game, and now Pocket Merlin's looking to go for another one against Joly himself. So he has got a few, but he does have Joly does have T2 flak, and Joly is hightailing it out of there. But is he attacking? Yep, he is attacking Joly's ACU. He does take just a couple of hundred off his ACU, but not enough. But this has just completely made this game wide open. He is now attacking the T2 land factory, the T2 sea factory that Joly has, that is producing cruisers as well as destroyers. So this is a brilliant tactic being employed by Pocket Merlin, because the only problem is, this is the only thing that can cause AIX any trouble. This big swarm and a complete spot control that Joly does have on that complete area of this game so far. As we can see, Joly's building T2. Obviously, you can see Joly's got his interceptors patrolling right over his naval factories, as well as his ACU. So obviously, this is becoming a very, very interesting game now. Joly has to create some type of strategy to completely overwhelm both the players, just to completely take them out. As you can see though, Sheeo is not aware of the tactical missiles currently impending on his entire base, and is power generators are getting taken out, so he does need to get anti-tactical defences up there ASAP, because they are just going to pound his base. It's the same with Pocket Merlin. If you continue with Pocket Merlin, because Pocket Merlin does not have any anti-tactical missile defences online either, and it looks like, yeah, Sheeo isn't really prepared to build anti-tactical missile devices, even with his ACU, which is quite interesting. He is plus 37. His ACU isn't exactly his ACU isn't exactly T2, but he does have T2 engineers free. He's got 5 engineers, but 4 in the vicinity. But yeah, he's not actually building anti-tactical missile devices. Interesting. So it looks like Sheeo is actually literally giving his entire base away and up as well, which is quite interesting. But we do have Pocket Merlin starting his anti-tactical missile devices now. As you can see, though, Pocket Merlin is really struggling to build a T2 power generator. That's because he reclaimed all of his T1 power generators, and the tactical missiles of Joly has actually done him quite a lot of damage. It is the same with Sheeo. He is actually stuck now on his little island. He is trying to protect the T2 transport with 4 T2 engineers there. Let's have a look at Joly. Joly can see. Joly can't see the transport, but he can see everything. He hasn't really got much radar coverage. If I look at, they're all T1 as well. Let me just clarify that. Yep. All of his radar are T1, apart from the frigates and that. However, Joly is currently hightailing away from torpedo bombers, and here we go. Here comes the fun. Joly has successfully got his blazes on the land and is starting impounding the enemy T2 flak, but he is moving in. He is killing wins. Obviously, Sheeo is actually in the process of building T1 point defense, but it won't be online. Not before. No, he's just completely missing the point defense. That's interesting. So we do have a current pause in the game. So we do have a pause by Pocket Merlin, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. So let's recap the events. BC successfully took all areas of the map apart from the home bases of the AIX clan. However, even though that limited their resources a big style and gave BC a big massive resource boost, Pocket Merlin went all the way around the map and sniped quite well Cresdee, who didn't actually have a radar in his base, so he wasn't able to see the impending doom of 15 T2 torpedo bombers. However, the fast-acting movements of Joly easily prevented that, and Joly now currently has T3 restorers. So pretty much, with the impending doom that Joly is actually bringing on Sheeo, with the enormous amount of radar, where he's got 3 of them so far, and he does have enormous cruisers, just tactical missiling the shite out of Sheeo. Joly is smack talking the enemy, as we can clearly see in the chat on the right hand side of the screen. And now Joly's just shit talking. He's just smack talking now. As we can see though, we've got Sheeo with a little engineer drop, which is completely useless at the moment in time because Joly still didn't take out their T2 flak. Didn't. Joly is moving in. Well, Joly's area is getting absolutely smashed at this current moment in time. There we go. Look at it. Poor T2 destroyer. Just getting the crap pounded out of it completely by 3 destroyers, torpedoes, everything, and it's gone. So it's pretty much a good game. We do have the rest up. Finally made its way all into Pocket Merlin's base. So as much as Sheeo can actually try and delay this inevitability, but as soon as Joly snipes Pocket Merlin, Sheeo has lost all of his bases and everything that goes with it. Sheeo is just sitting in his ACU in the middle of nowhere trying to get sniped but being protected by flak. As we can see though, there is quite a lot of, there is 3 T1 AA causing a bit of damage to the Restorer, which is quite unfortunate for the Restorer clearly, but it's not really much fuss by Joly. He is still actually upgrading his T3 mass extractor, so really all we need to do is just build Restorers and he's actually won. Or even T3 bombers, for that matter. He is actually being accompanied by another T3 gunship, and the fourth will be, and the third will be coming, and the fourth not far off that. So pretty much this is a good game. Sheeo is trying to make it. Sheeo's just going to try and kill these shield and the Auroras with a blaze in high accompaniment. He does actually still have OC capability. That is because of this little thing. It's a brilliant feature that which was added in the beta patch of 3.0.3. However, these 3 anti-tactical missile devices are literally saving Pocket Merlin's ass quite well, no matter how many tactical missiles actually coming into play, which Joly will make sure that doesn't actually happen. But here we go. Sheeo is actually out of the game now by the Restorer kill, which actually takes down 2 Restorers in its ACU wake. But pretty much I can't actually see where Pocket Merlin's ACU. There he is. Pocket Merlin is there. Currently being shot at by Restorers, and 1 Restorer is about to die because of the T2. By the T1 flak. Oh, there is a T. Yep. There is 1 T2 flak. But there we go. Yeah, no give on this game, so interesting. It must be share till death, but then it doesn't share back. So obviously Pocket Merlin is pretty much screwed now, getting hounded by 2 tactical missile ships, as well as the Restorer. And just to make his day worse, Joly's actually coming in with 2 T3 bombers, which didn't actually drop. So that's a good game. BC won with a casualty, and stay tuned for more. I'll have another game as soon as I can see one hosted on FAF, so stay tuned.